Mr Speaker, my question's to the Minister for Defence. Will the Minister please inform the House of the significance of today's 70th anniversary of Australia's most important strategic and military partnership, the US alliance?
The Minister for Defence.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I thank the honourable member for his question. A man who has served his country as an ambassador and continues to do great work as a local member of parliament and one of the strongest supporters of our relationship with the United States. Mr Speaker, as we know, 70 years ago today in San Francisco, the compact was signed between Australia, the United States and New Zealand. Of course, came off the back of the Second World War, and it came off the back of an effort of our allied troops to save the world from a particular course and a direction that would have been harmful, devastating to the entire world for many decades. The world would never have recovered from the Second World War had the United States and the Allies not approached Germany and the forces against us during that period without the resolute capacity that only the United States can bring to a wartime effort. And since that time, Mr Speaker, over the 7 decades, we have stood with the United States. The United States has stood with us. We've seen in its most recent iteration in the Middle East, we bought out 4,100 Australian citizens, visa holders, permanent residents. Not one of those people, Mr Speaker, would have made it to our plane if it wasn't for the effort of the United States. And it wasn't just us, Mr Speaker. New Zealand, France, Spain, rattle off the countries. They were not able to have a presence at Kabul without those 4,000 soldiers there and without the 1,000 British soldiers there, an incredible partnership for us with the United Kingdom as well. Our countries would not have achieved the success without the United States. And so we turn our attention now, Mr Speaker, to the Indo-Pacific region, and we know that there is greater uncertainty in this region than at any time since the Second World War. And it is more important than ever for countries in our region to see the rock that is the relationship between the United States, our country and New Zealand, our shared values, our perspective on the world, our belief in freedom of speech, our belief in a sovereign right, our belief in making sure that democratic processes prevail has been at the core of the peacetime success that has resulted in millions of people being lifted from poverty and put on a much more certain trajectory than otherwise they would have faced. And with uncertainty in our region now, Mr Speaker, the Australian public knows that our ANZUS alliance is more important now than it even was 70 years ago. And for all of those leaders on both sides of the equation who have given their commitment to this compact for 70 years should know that this government will continue to reinforce the ANZUS Treaty for many, many decades to come.